Welcome to this miles by foot tour of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, code ATL. By passenger count, ATL is the busiest airport in the world, a position it's held for 24 of the past 25 years. ATL sees more passengers every day than most commercial airports in the United States see in a year. On an average weekday, ATL lands and departs more than 250,000 passengers. ATL fields about 1,700 passenger flights each day. That's a takeoff or a landing every 51 seconds. These stats are incredible, but ATL's most impressive feat is how easy it is to navigate the airport, whether you're catching a tight connection, you're changing airlines, or even if you're flying for the very first time. My goal in this video is to give you the tools to help you find your flight easily and painlessly. ATL's role in the national transit network, its passenger volume, and its scope put ATL on a different level entirely, so my tour will be a bit different too. If you're new to travel, or you love to see how aviation and airports work, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can connect with our community and see new videos when they're published. As things change at ATL, which they always will, I'll be updating the top comment with new information to keep you current on the ever-evolving scene here. Down here in the South, we always say, no matter where you go after you die, you'll connect in Atlanta first. Let's explore. ATL is the primary hub of Delta Airlines, headquartered here in Atlanta since the 40s. 3 out of every 4 passengers at ATL are flying Delta, so let's focus on the home team first. Altogether, ATL has 7 airside concourses, arranged parallel to one another north to south, with Concourse T to the west and Concourses A, B, C, D, E, and F ascending to the east. All concourses are connected airside by an underground people mover lovingly called the plane train. Delta flights can be found in any of the 7 concourses at ATL. Shorter international flights are typically found in Concourse E, and long-haul international flights are typically in Concourse F. As always, but especially at ATL, gate assignments are subject to change on short notice, so always check the departure boards in the terminal when you arrive to make sure the gate on your boarding pass or your app is still accurate. Concourses A through D make up the core concourses for Delta at ATL, hosting the majority of the airport's gates and its traffic. Each of these concourses feature a pretty similar design. 2 long departure halls branching off from a single central node where you can find the plane train station, as well as a concentration of restaurants, shops, and other services. Gates in these and every other concourse are numbered from south to north, lowest to highest. If your flight arrives in one of these 4 concourses and your connecting flight is in another concourse, head towards the center of the concourse you land in, head downstairs to the plane train, and ride in the direction of the concourse for your next flight. The train arrives and departs pretty frequently, once every 2 minutes or so. Check above the train doors to make sure you're going the right way. Even if the train isn't running, which is really rare, there is a corridor you can use to walk between concourses, complete with moving sidewalks to help you. Even walking the entire way, it only takes a few minutes to get to the next concourse. From the farthest gate and the longest walk, you can get between any 2 gates in concourses A through D in about 20 minutes, with most transits taking about 10 minutes. For a more in-depth view of each of these concourses, check out my full unnarrated walking video of ATL. Concourse E is the airport's older international concourse, but today it's used for a combination of domestic and international flights for Delta and for non-SkyTeam airlines. Unlike A through D, Concourse E has 3 departure halls, arranged like a 3-pronged Tetris piece. This concourse features one of the largest food courts at the airport, and it's a nice place to go if you're with a group and want lots of choices but you still want to sit together. Lower numbered gates in Concourse E are to the south or to the right as you come up the escalator from the plane train. Higher number gates are to the north or to the left. And gates E14 through E18 are past the food court straight ahead. There's also a large Delta service desk directly across from the food court. Concourse F, also called the Maynard H. Jackson Jr. International Terminal, is the newest and grandest at ATL, and it's home to all intercontinental airlines and nearly every long-haul international service on Delta and its SkyTeam partners. When you arrive at Concourse F, you can go upstairs to the mezzanine food court that overlooks the action below. 10 of the Concourse's 12 gates are to the right in its main departure hall, complete with tall windows and great views of the heavies that take passengers to and from far-off destinations in Europe and Asia. The other 2 gates, F12 and F14, are tucked away to the left as you come up from the plane train. I took my first solo international flight from this concourse almost 10 years ago now, so this concourse always has a special place in my memory. I always try to swing by when I'm here, even if I'm just here for a short layover. Concourse T is connected to the main landside terminal at ATL, and it's home to major airlines American and United, as well as most, but not all, domestic airlines. Both major airlines have a lounge located near T10. The Admirals Club is to the left, and the United Club is to the right as you walk down the terminal. Concourse T is currently undergoing renovation, and you can see what the future terminal will look like by going all the way to the northern end where it's finished. Unlike the other terminals at ATL, there isn't a central food court or other services in the Concourse Center, at least not for now, so head closer to your gate for food and shopping. If you're leaving the airport and you're looking for ground transportation and baggage, you'll take the plane train to Concourse T. Thanks to ATL's incredible levels of traffic and its reputation as a transfer hub, non-hub American and United both offer an impressive array of hub destinations, and with considerable frequency of both mainline and regional service. Besides the big 3, domestic carriers Spirit, JetBlue, Frontier, Alaska, and Southwest also connect through ATL. Spirit offers 19 domestic destinations of its own, as well as 2 seasonal destinations at Fort Myers in Florida and Atlantic City in New Jersey. As of December 2023, Spirit uses low-numbered gates in Concourse D alongside Frontier. Frontier's presence in ATL is considerable too, and they fly to 24 of their most popular destinations, including 5 year-round international destinations and 2 seasonal ones. Both Spirit and Frontier have operating bases at ATL. JetBlue currently uses the northern end of Concourse T, and they fly to their 4 busiest bases at Boston, Fort Lauderdale, and their New York City airports at LaGuardia and JFK. Alaska, who shares gate space with other airlines in the northern end of Concourse T, connects ATL with Seattle, and starting in the summer of 2024, their focus city is San Diego. Still though, Southwest is the busiest non-Delta carrier at ATL with over 40 year-round destinations. Southwest uses the central gates in Concourse C. Delta, of course, serves more destinations than every other carrier at ATL combined, with well over 200 destinations, including more than 50 year-round international destinations in some 35 countries across the Caribbean, Central and South America, Europe, East Asia, and Africa. Delta maintains gates in all 7 concourses at ATL, so remember to check your app or the departure boards in the terminal to stay up to date to where you're flying from. Moreover, Delta has an unbelievable 9 Sky Club lounges scattered throughout the airport, with at least 1 in each concourse and 2 in A and D. The Sky Club in T opens earliest, and the one in F is open the latest. While that might seem excessive, space is always limited at these clubs. When I was here, most had long lines with patrons waiting to get in. ATL is one of the few airports that feels like a destination all on its own, thanks to its size, the variety of its service, and the potential for people watching. Naturally, ATL sports a prolific art collection, more than 1,000 pieces, mostly located in the pedestrian corridors between the plane train stops and in the older airside terminals, particularly Concourses T and E. Concourse T contains static art exhibits even during the renovation, complete with interpretation and details on the artists. Most notably, Concourse E is filled to the brim with art installations, even starting as soon as you come up from the plane train, and in each of the 3 departure halls. Each installation is as different as the next. Planespotting is another great pastime at ATL, and you'll even catch non-enthusiasts checking out the action. The most impressive planes are in E and F, to be sure, but the real action is in A through D, where the vast majority of aircraft movements actually take place. Concourse F's traffic is busiest from late morning to early evening, with most red-eye flights departing in those windows. Every other concourse is busy at all hours, sunup to sundown. For airport lovers, ATL has yet another unsurprising superlative. Its air traffic control tower next to Concourse F is the tallest in the Western Hemisphere at just under 400 feet tall, longer than the Atlanta Falcons' home field at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. ATL is one of the few airports these days whose airside remains open 24 hours a day for folks catching a connecting flight the next day. If you find yourself at ATL overnight after you missed a connection or there was some other travel mishap, or even you intentionally scheduled it that way, you won't be alone. After my recent late-night stay, many folks tucked in throughout Concourses E and F, each with plenty of room and some amount of comfortable furniture and privacy to catch a few hours of sleep before your journey continues. None of the lounges are open overnight, so it's best to find a place early if you know that's in your future. While I might not make a habit of it, it's nice to know that there are places where you can rest in relative peace and quiet. The airport has 2 points of entry and exit in the centers of Concourses T and F on opposite sides of the airport. Concourse T connects to the main landside terminal, complete with baggage claims, connections to ground transportation, and other landside services. If you need to get to the city, ATL connects downtown via light rail service. The airport serves as the southern terminus for the red and gold MARTA light rail lines, which stop at a station off the Concourse T's landside. The trip leaves frequently, about every 10 minutes at peak travel times, and takes about a half hour to get downtown. You can purchase a single-use, one-way ticket for $3.50 as of December 2023, without purchasing a Breeze card used by the local commuters. Just beyond the MARTA station is the SkyTrain, ATL's name for their people mover that takes you to the consolidated rental car facility if you're renting a car for your visit, or to several hotels located across I-85. Concourse F's landside is much smaller and hosts ticket kiosks for international airlines, as well as Delta international flights and international baggage claims. You can clear security in either landside terminal if you don't have bags to check. More than any other airport I've covered on this channel, there's none that you've been more likely to have experienced yourself than ATL. In many ways, transiting through ATL is a rite of passage for the American traveler, and whether you've never been through it or you've stopped here 1,000 times, I hope this guide showed you something you didn't know about one of our country's great logistical achievements. ATL's design, its quirks, and its complexity give it a spirit all its own. That being said, the biggest piece of advice I'd give a first-timer is to not worry. ATL might be the busiest airport on Earth, but you can navigate it, and I bet you'll even enjoy it. Perhaps you'll discover a memorable experience there for yourself or your travel companions, even if you're just finding your way to your next adventure. If you liked this video, press the like button and subscribe to Miles by Foot. I publish airport guides, tours, and aviation videos every few weeks, with new trips and destinations for you to explore with me. When you turn on notifications too, you're telling YouTube that you want to see my videos as soon as they're published, and that helps other people discover my videos too, furthering my mission to take the stress and mystery out of travel, and inspiring each of you to think about where you can visit and how to actually get there. Soon I'll be publishing an unnarrated tour of ATL too, including every gate, nook, and cranny of this massive airport. Until then, thanks for watching, and keep moving forward.
Welcome aboard the plane train. Please hold on. This train is departing. The next stop is for C gates. C as in Charlie.
Your attention please. Tube construction baggage claim ground transportation station elevators are out of service. The station is still open.